Chapter 3, Task 3, Linear Word Problems. If a word problem wants you to write an equation from it, there are usually a few keywords to look for that tell you it's going to be linear. And the word linear means it just makes a line. So these words we're going to look for are the word rate, per, each, or every. And as we go through these examples of word problems, you'll see me highlight if we see any of these keywords. Before we get started, I want you to write this equation up at the top of your notes. And it should look familiar to you. This is the slope-intercept form where y equals mx plus b. M, you might think it's familiar from previous sections where does indicate the slope and the b is the y-intercept. But when we're talking about word problems, the b is often the fee or the starting amount, and you'll see that as we go through. All right, problem number 1. We're going to go through this together, obviously. Aziz wants to start his own business after school selling stickers that he has made. It's going to cost him $2 to get the basic supplies to start off with, like markers, colored pencils, and paper. Each sticker base costs him 50 cents. So I heard some key words there I'm going to highlight. I read the word each. Let me get my marker to work. See? So I'd like for you to, I was highlighting. Either highlight or underline this word. The word is each. There we go, each. And I also heard start off with. Up here at the top, we put fee or starting amount. So those are going to be really important. So let's start by writing this equation. Letter A says to write the equation of his business model using X to represent the number of stickers he makes and Y to represent the amount of money he earns. So before we get started writing this, we need to identify what X and Y are. This is really, really helpful for word problems. So we're going to, over here, identify what the X is. And it tells us exactly that X is the number of stickers. So in each problem you do, this is the first step, is just to identify what the X and Y are. The Y, they tell us right here, is to represent the amount of money he earns. So I'm just going to put a little dollar sign. All right, so let's do that. So we want to find out the money he earns. So we're going to start with Y equals the starting fee. In this case, we highlighted start off, and it tells us $2. So we are going to start with the number 2. And it says each sticker costs him 50 cents. Well, we don't know how many stickers he bought, so we're using the variable X, but we do know that they cost 50 cents a piece. Oh, and I wrote that wrong. That says 5 cents. 50 cents is 0.50. And the X goes next to it because we don't know how many he's going to buy. Letter B says, how much will it cost him to make 54 stickers? So we're just going to take this number and plug it in for X. And this is where Desmos comes in handy. So if you haven't already, go ahead and open up Desmos. The first step you're going to do is put this equation in Desmos. And since they tell us that he wants to make 54 stickers, and we know from our notes that X equals the number of stickers, you're also going to put this in Desmos. All right, so the first box of Desmos gets the equation, the second box of Desmos gets X equals 54, and you will see where they cross. They cross at the coordinate, and we are able to solve by looking at Desmos that it will cost him $29 to make 54 stickers. All right, example number 2. Angie wants to track the growth of her tomato plant. The plant was 6 centimeters when she first bought it and grows 1 centimeter every day. I think we just found a key word. Every and each are words that we're going to highlight. Very important. They identify something that we are going to need to do. So letter A says, write the equation of the growth of her tomato plant using H to represent the height and D to represent the number of days. So although the example I gave, or the model I gave you up here was y equals mx plus b, we're going to use the same model, but in this case, they want us to use the letter H to represent height and D to represent number of days. It's the same model, just different letters. Over here to the side, we're going to write H, and that represents the height. And the D represents the days. And D in this case is just going to take the place of X, and H in this case is just going to take the place of Y. So instead of writing Y equals, we're going to write H equals the starting point. Let's see if we found, yep, we found right here. The starting point was 6 centimeters when she first bought it. So we're going to start with the 6, and we're going to add 1 centimeter each day. We can put the 1 here and the D next to it because we don't know how many days we're going to track until we get to letter B. It says, how long will it take the plant to grow? A height of 19 centimeters. So in this case, they're giving us the H or the Y. They want for us to figure out the number of days it will take for it to grow this tall. So Desmos again is our friend. You're going to plug this equation into Desmos, and H is 19. However, Desmos doesn't like H and D's, so when you go to plug it in, I would suggest you write Y equals 6 plus 1x, and instead of H, you're going to write X equals 19. See where they cross? And it will take 13 days. Let's circle our answer. So we got a lot going on here. All right, last problem. As you can see, there are multiple letters here, so multiple prompts for the one question. This one's a very, very familiar one because it's talking about memberships. It says LA Fitness has 2 different plans for gym membership. Sam joins the gym with a $25 sign-up fee and pays $24.99 each month. So right there, I found some keywords, fee and each. So Elaine also joins the gym, and her sign-up fee is $149, but she pays less. She only pays $12.99 each month. Letter A says, write an equation for the total amount that Sam will pay to the gym after X months. And B says, write an equation for the total amount that Elaine will pay to the gym after X months. So in word problems, it's really, really important to identify what the question is asking. I would hate for you to go through all this work and accidentally write the equation for Elaine when they're asking for Sam and vice versa. So a big key for word problems is to underline important names and keywords. But before we start, we need to identify what our variables are going to be. We're going to use X because it didn't deliberately tell us to use a H or a D or an X. When it doesn't tell you what variable to use, you defer back to an X and a Y would be my suggestion. So let's define X as the number of months and Y as the total cost. Y often is the total amount of money they will pay, just FYI. So let's go back to letter A. It's asking Sam. So as always, we're going to start with Y equals, and we'll kind of do these both together. Sam's startup or sign-up fee is $25, and Elaine's is $149. Sam has to pay $24.99 each month, so we're going to add that fee, right? 24 decimal point, super important, 99. And we don't know how many months at this point in the question that she'll be going to the gym. So over here, we define X as number of months. So yes, we're going to put the X right after $24.99. So as you notice, we're almost finished with Elaine's as well. We're going to go back up to the prompt. It says Elaine pays $12.99 each month. So we're going to add that fee to her equation, $12.99 X. Letter C says, how much will the gym cost Sam? Let's underline Sam again. We want to know who we're talking about. After 6 months, pretty important there. How much will the gym cost Elaine after 6 months? So notice this question has two parts. So we're going to use Desmos again as our friend. We're going to plug in the equation for Sam, which is this guy up in A in our Desmos, and we're going to identify X this time as 6. So I'm just going to highlight in red because I'm running out of room here what you need to put in Desmos. Go ahead and do that. As you can see, Sam will owe the gym $174 and some change, 94 cents. Let's do the same thing for, I'm running out of colors here. Do the same thing for Elaine. In Desmos, you're going to put in Elaine's equation, which is here. I lost my Y's with my eraser. And X for Elaine is still 6 because they're attending the gym both for 6 months, but her equation is $12.99. Her payment is different. So put that in Desmos, see where they cross, and we can see that Elaine, I'm just going to abbreviate E because I'm running out of room here, has to pay $226 and some change also, and that would be 94 cents. All right, letter D and E are exactly the same type of question as letter C, but letter D is asking how much will each of them have to pay after 12 months, and E is asking how much will they have to pay after 18 months. Go ahead and clear out your Desmos for X values, but you can go ahead and leave the Y equations in because you're going to go back up to Sam's equation, which is Y equals 25 plus 24.99, and then you're going to plug in X, in this case, equals 12. Go ahead and do that for Sam. Go ahead and do that for Elaine, and let's see how much it'll cost them after 12 months. And if you plugged each of those into Desmos correctly, you will find that Sam, it crossed at $324.88, which means it'll cost Sam $324.88 for 6 months. And you will see that the equation for Elaine, where it crossed, was 304 decimal point 88, which is $304.88. Letter E, how much will the gym cost Sam after 18 months? And how much will the gym cost Elaine after 18 months? I'm going to go ahead and go to Desmos right now. I just realized I didn't give you an example of exactly what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Desmos now. Okay, so now that I have Desmos up, I'm going to show you step by step how to plug that in for letter E. It says, how much will the gym cost cost Sam after 18 months? So I went ahead and put in the equation for Sam in the first box. I'm going to add a second box. And since we want to find out how much it'll cost after 18 months, that's where, just like we did for C and D, we're going to enter X equals, in this case it's 18. We're going to look and see where those two cross. Now, I do want to give you a hint that this guy was pretty far up the y-axis, so you have to travel with your cursor, and it might take a minute to find it. But what you're going to look for is when the X value, I see the dot there, when the X value is 18, it keeps going away. That X value is 18. That second number is your answer where it crosses at 18. So in this case, it'll cost Sam $474.82. So again, this question has two prompts. Now we need to figure out Elaine. So I'm going to make sure I put in Elaine's equation, which Y equals 149 plus 1299X Make sure you put that decimal point in if you haven't already. And we're still trying to figure out after 18 months. So x equals 18. Let's search and see where they cross. And for this one as well, I had to travel pretty far up the y-axis. I see that they cross right here, 18 and 382.82. So that is how much Elaine makes. So letter F lastly, and it's your opinion. And here's what I'm going to tell you about opinion questions when on math test. You have to choose a side, but you have to defend your answer. Either will be right as long as you give a mathematical explanation. Letter F says, which gym membership would you take? So right now I want you to think about that and think about why you chose that option. So a good starter sentence would be Sam's gym because, and again, it depends on how long you are enrolled in the gym. You might say Sam's gym because I only want to go for about 6 months because I'm trying to get ready for that vacation, and it'll only cost me $174 versus Elaine's $226. Or you could choose Elaine's gym for multiple reasons. One may be because I am looking to get in shape and become healthy. I'm going to go every day. And so it's a longer term membership you want. And if you take a look up here at 18 months, it'll cost Sam $474.82. But it'll only cost Elaine for that amount of months $382. So again, it depends on how long you're enrolled. Just make sure you defend your answer with some math.